Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. These words by Jim Rohn carry more weight than most people realize. Picture this. It's 2 a.m. and you're staring at a screen, drained, stuck on a task that feels impossible. You've tried everything, watched the tutorials, read the articles, asked for advice. Still, nothing works. Frustrated, you mutter to yourself, "Why is this so hard?" That quiet complaint, that whispered hope for something easier, is the silent killer of potential. We've all been there, wanting success without struggle, results without resistance. It's a mindset that's been subtly sold to us. The shortcut culture, the quick fix, the dream of effortless mastery. But here's the truth. Wishing for ease doesn't move you forward. It stalls you. It breeds mediocrity. Because every time you wish the road was smoother, you ignore the very thing that could change your life. The real breakthrough comes not when the path gets easier, but when you get stronger, sharper, better. Life was never meant to be easy. It was meant to grow you. And that growth doesn't happen by wishing. It happens by working. So stop hoping for easy. Start choosing better. That's the mindset that leads to real success. Let's dive in. Number 1, the trap of easy thinking. It's human nature to seek ease. Our brains are wired for efficiency, always scanning for the path of least resistance. In ancient times, this instinct helped us survive, conserve energy, avoid danger, and find the fastest route to food or safety. But in today's world, that same instinct often works against us. The desire for ease, once a survival mechanism, has become a modern-day trap. We now live in a culture obsessed with convenience, one that constantly whispers, "Why struggle when you don't have to?" From life hacks to 5-minute abs to apps that promise productivity without effort. We're bombarded by the seductive illusion that success can and should come quickly, without the grind, without the discipline, without the deep work. Social media magnifies this problem. We scroll through highlight reels of people who seem to have it all: effortless wealth, perfect bodies, instant fame, and subconsciously absorb the idea that struggle is a sign of failure. Influencers flaunt their morning routines, side hustles, and miracle products, rarely showing the sleepless nights, the breakdowns, or the years of invisible work behind the scenes. As a result, many of us start to believe that if something feels hard, it must not be meant for us. We begin to doubt ourselves at the first sign of resistance. We compare our behind the scenes to someone else's curated success and conclude that we're not cut out for the climb. So we retreat. We scroll some more. We look for the next trick or shortcut that will make it all easier. But there's a hidden cost to this mindset, and it's more damaging than we realize. Wishing for easy leads to stagnation. When we avoid the hard things, we also avoid the growth that comes with them. We become stuck in a loop of comfort, safe, familiar, and slowly suffocating. Over time, this comfort turns into boredom. That boredom becomes restlessness, and that restlessness becomes a silent crisis of purpose. We may not always name it, but we feel it, the sense that something is missing, that we were meant for more, but somehow lost our way. The truth is, we're not bored because life is hard. We're bored because we've stopped challenging ourselves. We've stopped growing. We've traded the meaningful pursuit of mastery for the hollow promise of ease. There's a difference between working smarter and wishing for easy. Working smarter means learning from mistakes, optimizing processes, using your time and energy effectively. It's intentional and active. But wishing for easy is passive. It's the hope that life will remove the obstacle instead of preparing you to overcome it. Smart work still requires hard work. It just channels that effort more effectively. The most successful people in any field didn't find an easy button. They found a way to make hard things feel worthwhile. That's the real secret. Not less effort, but more purpose behind it. So the next time you catch yourself looking for the shortcut, pause, ask yourself, is this actually helping me grow, or am I just avoiding the climb? Because in the long run, it's not ease that will build your life. It's effort. Smart, sustained, and yes, often uncomfortable effort. And when you embrace that, you stop chasing easy and start choosing excellence. Number 2, growth requires friction. Growth by its very nature demands friction. Without resistance, there is no challenge, and without challenge, there is no change. It's easy to romanticize progress, to imagine transformation as a clean, upward trajectory, but in reality, every form of true growth is forged through discomfort. Think of how muscles grow. You don't build strength by lifting what's easy. You grow by pushing your body to the edge of its current capacity, tearing muscle fibers, feeling the burn, and then giving your body the time and fuel it needs to rebuild stronger than before. The pain you feel in that process isn't failure. It's feedback. It's a sign that you are expanding your limits, that you are in the presence of something worthwhile. This principle isn't limited to the gym. In business, some of the most successful companies today were born from failure, rejection, and repeated pivots. Startups that appear overnight are almost always the result of years of setbacks and problem solving behind the scenes. Elon Musk once said that being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. That's not just poetic, it's honest. Innovation doesn't happen in the absence of resistance. It happens because of it. The friction forces adaptation, creativity, and growth. If it were easy, everyone would do it, and it wouldn't be meaningful. Even in our personal lives, the moments that shape us the most are rarely the smooth ones. They're the moments we wanted to quit, but didn't. The times we were scared, but showed up anyway. The conversations that were uncomfortable, but necessary. These are the experiences that stretch us, refine us, and reveal who we really are. Psychologist Carol Dweck's work on mindset reinforces this idea. In her research, she distinguishes between a fixed mindset, the belief that abilities are static, and a growth mindset, which sees abilities as improvable through effort and learning. People with a fixed mindset avoid challenges because they fear failure. But those with a growth mindset embrace difficulty, seeing it as an opportunity to evolve. They understand that failure isn't final, it's formative. One of the most powerful ideas in this research is the concept of productive failure. The idea that struggling with something and getting it wrong actually enhances learning. When students wrestle with a problem before being given the solution, they retain the information more deeply. Why? Because the friction forces engagement. It wakes up the brain. It makes the knowledge stick. In life, the same rule applies. The struggle is what etches the lesson into your bones. The discomfort is what drives real change. So the next time you find yourself in a tough situation, frustrated, overwhelmed, tempted to give up, remember this: the difficulty is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's often the best indicator that you're on the right one. The friction you feel is not a wall, it's a forge. It's where your old self meets your potential, and where your growth truly begins. Choose to lean into it. Let it shape you, because growth will never come wrapped in comfort. It comes through the heat, the struggle, the resistance, and in that fire, you become stronger. Number 3, the power of personal evolution. Getting better isn't a one-time event. It's a way of life. It's not about achieving perfection, but committing to continuous personal evolution, to becoming a little stronger, smarter, or wiser every day. The most successful people in the world didn't take the hard path because they enjoyed suffering. They did it because they realized that growth only happens through effort, and that the pursuit of excellence is far more fulfilling than the illusion of ease. David Goggins, for example, wasn't born a Navy SEAL or an ultra-endurance athlete. He was once overweight, depressed, and stuck in a cycle of excuses. But he made a decision to stop wishing for life to change and to start transforming himself. He embraced the pain, the process, and the work, day after day. He understood that the hard road was not an obstacle, but a gateway to the version of himself he wanted to become. The same is true for Oprah Winfrey, who endured a childhood marked by poverty and trauma, but refused to let her past define her future. She built her success not by avoiding hardship, but by learning from it, by developing the emotional intelligence, communication skills, and self-awareness that would later become the cornerstone of her global influence. Elon Musk, known for his ambitious ventures, famously slept on the floor of his Tesla factory when things were falling apart, not because he had to, but because he believed in being shoulder to shoulder with the struggle. These individuals didn't wish for easy, they chose better. And that choice, repeated over time, became their legacy. Personal evolution isn't always dramatic. In fact, it often looks incredibly ordinary. It's the daily decision to show up, to practice, to refine. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, emphasizes the power of getting just 1% better every day. It's a small number, almost invisible in the short term. But over the span of weeks, months, and years, the compounding effect becomes extraordinary. Improving just a little each day means you're constantly moving forward. It builds momentum. It creates a feedback loop where growth fuels motivation, and motivation fuels more growth. The effort may feel minor in the moment, but over time it transforms who you are. And here's the key. As you build skills, you also build confidence. Confidence doesn't come from hype or hollow affirmations. It comes from competence. It's the quiet certainty that you can handle what's ahead, because you've handled hard things before. Every time you push through discomfort, you add to that internal library of proof that you're capable. That's how you stop being intimidated by challenges and start being energized by them. You stop running from the hard stuff and start leaning into it because you know it's shaping you into someone better. Personal evolution is not a destination. It's not something you arrive at. It's something you live. It's the mindset of the warrior, the artist, the craftsman. It's the refusal to settle. It's the daily deliberate choice to keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing. Because in the end, success isn't something you stumble into. It's something you build. One decision, one action, one improvement at a time. And that's what makes it truly yours. Number 4. Strategies to get better. Not just busy. Wanting to get better is a powerful mindset, but without the right strategies, that desire can quickly turn into frustration, or worse, wasted motion. Too often, we confuse being busy with being productive. We check off to-do lists, respond to emails, and hustle endlessly, yet still feel stuck. Why? Because we're not working with intention. We're working on autopilot. If you want to shift from simply doing more to actually becoming more, you need a framework that turns effort into evolution. It begins with clarity. You must set clear goals that act as a compass. But don't stop there. Break those goals down. Reverse engineer them until you understand exactly what skills, habits, and routines are required to get from where you are to where you want to be. A vague goal like get fit becomes a targeted mission, like lose 10 pounds in 12 weeks through strength training and meal prep. That clarity makes action possible, and repeated, intentional action creates results. But even more important than goals are the systems you build to support them. A goal is your destination, but a system is how you travel. Goals can be inspiring, but systems are what keep you moving forward on days when motivation fades. Want to be a great writer? Your system might be writing 500 words every morning, reading one book a week, and reviewing your past work every Friday. Want to build a business? Your system could include weekly performance reviews, customer interviews, and consistent product testing. Systems remove the guesswork. They turn discipline into a rhythm and success into a byproduct. James Clear put it best. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Build systems that make your future inevitable. Another key strategy is to stop avoiding feedback and failure. Most people run from critique because it stings, but that sting is often a sign of exactly where you need to grow. Feedback is a mirror. It shows you the gaps between your perception and reality. Whether it comes from a mentor, a peer, or your own self-assessment. Learn to welcome it, track your progress obsessively, not to judge yourself, but to learn from your patterns. What's working? What's not? Where are you plateauing and why? When you stop seeing failure as a verdict and start seeing it as data, you free yourself to improve faster than you ever thought possible. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. Every critique becomes a catalyst. The more honest you are with where you stand, the faster you can move forward. But perhaps the most misunderstood concept in improvement is practice. It's not enough to show up and repeat the same thing over and over. That's busy work, not mastery. The real magic lies in deliberate practice. This means breaking down your skill into components, identifying your weak spots, and targeting those areas with focused, challenging effort. If you're learning to play guitar, it's not just about strumming for an hour. It's about isolating the chord transitions you struggle with, slowing them down and refining them until they're smooth. If you're a public speaker, Deliberate practice isn't just giving speeches, it's recording yourself, studying your body language, improving your tone, and refining your storytelling. Deliberate practice demands discomfort because it's where your skills are weakest that the most growth lies. When you combine clear goals, strong systems, honest feedback, and deliberate practice, you create a powerful engine for personal evolution. You stop spinning your wheels and start gaining traction. You stop chasing easy and start chasing mastery. Getting better isn't about having more time, more talent, or more luck. It's about choosing the right approach and committing to it daily. When you shift your focus from being busy to being better, you move from reactive to proactive, from scattered effort to strategic growth. And with that shift, real transformation begins, not overnight, but over time, with consistency, clarity, and courage. Number 5, flip the script daily. Changing your life isn't just about what you do, it's about how you think. If you want to truly get better instead of wishing life were easier, you have to flip the script in your mind every single day. That starts with awareness. Most of us don't even realize when we've slipped into easy mode. It's subtle. It sounds like, I'll start tomorrow, or I'm just too tired today, or maybe this isn't meant for me. It feels like endlessly scrolling on your phone, procrastinating the hard task, or settling for comfort instead of growth. The first step is learning to catch those moments in real time, to hear the excuses forming, and challenge them before they take root. When you feel resistance, that's your cue. That's when you pause, take a breath, and ask yourself the better question. What can I do right now to level up? It doesn't have to be massive, just intentional. Maybe it's reading 5 pages, taking one uncomfortable action, practicing for 10 focused minutes. Improvement isn't about size, it's about direction. And the more often you interrupt easy thinking with better action, the more natural it becomes. Your internal language plays a critical role in this shift. What you say to yourself, especially when things get hard, either builds your mindset or breaks it. If your self-talk is filled with doubt, blame, or defeat, it's no wonder motivation fades. But if you train yourself to reframe challenges as opportunities, you unlock resilience. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, tell yourself, this is how I grow. Instead of, I'm not good at this, shift to, I'm learning, and every rep counts. Your words create your reality, and you are always listening. That's why high performers don't just speak positively. They speak constructively. They use language that focuses on effort, progress, and learning, not perfection or ease. To reinforce this mindset, build daily rituals that keep you grounded in growth. One of the simplest and most effective tools is journaling. Every morning, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what am I committed to improving today? And what challenge can I embrace instead of avoid? Reflecting like this primes your brain to seek growth instead of escape. It makes your intentions conscious. Over time, this practice rewires your thinking, turning discomfort into a familiar friend instead of a feared enemy. Combine journaling with mindfulness, even a few minutes of deep breathing or quiet reflection, and you create space between stimulus and reaction. That space is where discipline lives. It's where you pause long enough to choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Affirmations can also be powerful when used with intention. These aren't magic words, but reminders of who you're becoming. Say things like, I do hard things, or I grow through challenge. Repeat them not because you always feel strong, but because you're training your mind to believe in the process. You're choosing a new default, not one of retreat, but of resilience. The goal isn't to never feel lazy, scared, or overwhelmed. The goal is to notice those feelings and move anyway. That's how you flip the script. Ultimately, getting better starts in the mind. Before the reps, before the grind, before the success, there's a single thought: I can improve. Nurture that belief daily. Protect it with habits, language, and questions that keep you aimed at growth. Because when the mind evolves, the life follows. And when you stop running from the hard and start rising through it, you don't just get better, you become unstoppable. The hard road is the path. This simple truth is the secret that separates those who dream from those who do. Every story of triumph, every life transformed, is a testament to the power of choosing growth over ease. Think of the mighty oak tree, which stands tall, not because the wind never blew, but because it bent and flexed in every storm. Its strength comes from resistance, from weathering hardship, season after season. Your journey is no different. The struggles you face aren't roadblocks. They are the shaping forces of your future self. The choice before you is clear. Keep wishing that life would get easier or commit to getting better, because those are the only two paths. Jim Rohn's words echo through time and truth. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a call to action, a mindset to adopt, and a daily practice to live by. Imagine what would happen if, instead of retreating from difficulty, you leaned into it. What if every challenge became a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block? What if you saw each failure as feedback, each setback as setup for a comeback? The power to transform your life lies not in avoiding discomfort, but in embracing it. Today, the world offers endless distractions and shortcuts, promising quick fixes and instant results. But the reality is that true success, meaningful, lasting success, is born in the fires of persistence, deliberate effort, and unshakable commitment to growth. So here is your challenge. Pick one hard thing that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's starting that project, having a difficult conversation, pushing yourself in your workout, or learning a new skill. Whatever it is, commit to it today. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. Take that one deliberate action that moves you closer to becoming better than you were yesterday. Because in the end, the only way forward is through growth. The path won't get easier, but you will get stronger, wiser, and more capable with every step. Remember, the journey isn't about escaping the hard, it's about evolving through it. So stop hoping for a smoother road and start honing the skills, mindset, and grit that will carry you through the toughest terrain. Get better, keep moving, and watch as the impossible becomes possible, one hard-earned victory at a time.